Like, it's just the lack of accountability for me, man. Like, yo, shut the hell up. You brought this on yourself. You were wrong. And me, I was going to step forward and be like, no, I think social media is to blame for this.
Because I thought somebody, right. Because he...
See, she just did it again. She just did it again. She was going to explain. She was going to explain why things were hard. But then she was like, damn, if I explain why things were hard, then people are going to realize that it's my fault. So moral of the story. Don't be like Brittany Renner.
That's why. Act like you got common sense. Cause bitches consequences.
So I just knew that today I was going to be making a video called In Defense of Brittany Renner. I seen that she posted on her Instagram story that she was, well, I mean, I'm going to play it and react to the video, but I can't do it. I can't do the whole defense thing because it's just unacceptable to me, the reaction of her personally. I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to read the caption that kind of made me upset. Cause it's like the whole caption was just like, I'm gonna read it. Can you imagine being 29 years old with a baby living back with your parents because you were kicked out of your house? I left willingly because I go where I'm celebrated, not tolerated, with nowhere to go without a vehicle. And it's the thing inside the parentheses that bothered me. I left willingly because I go where I'm celebrated, not tolerated. It's like, bro, you're lucky that he's tolerating you. It's almost as if she thinks that we didn't notice what all she did. And it's like, all right, well, maybe there's behind the scenes stuff that involves PJ Washington being a da-da-da, whatever this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, you were so like boisterous and like really making this nigga look like a whole clown ass nigga the second that you had this baby. So now for this idea that he was somehow wrong for not celebrating you, I think that he should be celebrated for being willing to tolerate you. And it was just downhill from there. Like, can you imagine not being mentally, physically, emotionally ready to get back to the gym, let alone host a club after just having a baby, but you have to work to take care of your child? Is that not what happens when women reproduce? Like, I'm not saying that you feel me, that should be dismissed, but it's like, bro, you're not special. And the fact that it took a toll on you to have a child, and it's just, it's so difficult when it's like you're the same person who is sitting there showing off your child's car seat, talking about you're looking for a stepfather. There's a lot of things that unfolded publicly with Brittany that it was just like, I don't understand how you could have put out like the stuff about yourself, you feel me, when you were at the Georgia State campus and all that stuff, while at the same time 2.5 months later expecting like some sort of empathy or sympathy towards your situation. Like, it's like I wanted to come in and be like, well, maybe she just didn't know better, because that's a legitimate, like, you feel me, thought that somebody in her position just wouldn't know, hey, having a baby by an NBA player isn't good enough. But it's just the lack of accountability and the subtle like blame being given to PJ. It's just bothering me, and it's not bothering me because of their situation, because I don't give a fuck about what's going on with Brittany or her child or PJ Washington for that matter. It bothers me because it's just so reflective of what is going on in society. It's like, not everybody runs into a Brittany Renner, but you know somebody who has that same just like loose grip from reality. Like, I'm just finished reading. What about being harassed about receiving $200K in child support, which is not true? IDK, why anyone in their right mind would believe such a ridiculous amount, but it's clear the real pandemic is how stupid people are. Okay. Somebody is getting $200K in child support. So this idea, like, if they were offering her $200K in child support, she wouldn't be turning it down. This is her first time really coming out and being like, oh yeah, nah, that's ridiculous. In all caps and all anger and stuff, that people would even think that. Like, I guarantee you, if a judge gave her $200K in child support, she wouldn't be thinking this is ridiculous. That was the goal. So now the idea though is crazy. As if she knew she would be in this situation. Still no. Well, what about being accused of being a pedophile? Bro, he was really young. Like, that's just every single person who accused you of being a pedophile used the example. If a man did this to a woman, like, yeah, that shit was weird. A gold digger. This idea that you're shocked that people look at you like this is so against exactly how you were portraying yourself in the midst of this situation. Like, clearly there's something new, there's new developments in this situation that has you feeling differently about it, but that doesn't mean people are just going to completely put aside everything that you've portrayed this entire time. Better yet, a spiteful baby mama keeping their son from his dad when he wasn't even in the same state at the time. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I didn't hear anybody fucking calling her that, but apparently she reads her comment section. I don't read her comment section, so you got that. All this has been my reality, on top of trying to get things afloat financially, getting back in the groove of social media after being falling off the face of the earth, and being a new mother. Like, why do you think that is? Is that what every single time an athlete has a child, people aren't out here calling the mother a gold digger. People aren't out here calling the mother a spiteful baby mom. Like, no, if there's, like, nobody said that when Giannis had a child. Like, you could go down the list. Every single time an NBA player has a child, nobody's criticizing the mother. So what's different about this situation? What do you think maybe you have done to, like, you feel me, add to why people are saying these things? Like, it's just a lack of accountability for me, man. Like, I can't take it seriously. I cannot take it seriously. And it's just like, I literally, like, after the first time I seen this video, because I've seen it a few times and I know it's full of shit. But after the first time I seen it, I was like, you know what, maybe somebody needs to speak up for the fact that, like, this is society's fault. This is social media's fault. And my original reaction was maybe that Brittany was maybe she was more of a victim and less of the cultivator of the society. Because a lot of times when you think about that Instagram thought, out here having sex with the different high value men for clout and shit like that, Brittany Renner is one of the first things that come to mind. And she wrote a book about it. So, like, that's not crazy. It's not ridiculous that she's the person who comes to mind. She's done so much stuff to cultivate this reputation. I just don't understand why she seems to be so surprised at having it now. There isn't a person I know that could handle what I've been put through. I'm so happy it unfolded in this manner, because can you imagine being miserable in a relationship for a lifestyle you can create on your own? Can you imagine moving from a gorgeous condo in Woodland Hills, California to Charlotte, North Carolina and still not work out? I guarantee you he wasn't living in a piece of shit. Like, it's so convenient that you can mention that your condo in Woodland Hills, California was gorgeous, and then you just mention it's Charlotte, North Carolina. Like, as if he living in the slums and shit like that. Can you imagine feeling the need to sacrifice everything, identity and independence included, to be loved? If your identity led to, like, your entire persona, which your independence clearly feeds off of, and that whole thing was that of a person that's hard to be loved, like, yes. I have no shame in my game. I've made a lot of money and blown a lot of money. Despite popular belief, I don't have it all together. But each day I do my best, and each day my best gets better. Here's to new beginnings, never giving up, and following your heart. I have some more thoughts, but I'm gonna react to this video, and then I'm gonna just put them in as like from where I see them. You feel me?
Moved into my new place today. Y'all, when I tell you, I've been thugging. Okay, like, been living with my mom and my sister. It's me, my mom, my sister, my baby. I mean, because, you know,
see, this is what was getting me at first. I was like, oh shit, this is like the real Brittany Renner sitting here having a conversation with us. You feel me? Like, maybe life has stripped away all of that, all of that bravado, that misplaced bravado too. Like, maybe the circumstances have humbled her a bit to where we could get like an actual reaction from Brittany Renner to the situation. And I already knew that everybody would be like, yo, shut the hell up. You brought this on yourself. You were wrong. And me, I was going to step forward and be like, no, I think social media is to blame for this. I think that she was genuinely convinced of all of this shit that she says, like, you know what, I'm going to leave it. Maybe social media is the problem. And they had her really thinking that she just had to get pregnant by an NBA athlete and then she would be set for life. And now social media is turning on her, making it seem like she's utterly ridiculous and stupid for thinking that. And that was the defense that I was going to come to until I like read the caption, and it's like listening to her talk. But like I said, I'm gonna let her finish. I'm gonna let you finish. But
2.5 months when I decided to leave.
Like, that's what kills me. That's what kills me. If you decide to leave when your baby was 2.5 months old, you didn't try. You wasn't trying to have a family. But not back to what I was saying, 2.5 months. That means that you didn't try to make it work. You didn't try to make it work. The plan was to have the baby and then to move on with your life, getting whatever money you would be getting in child support, which would be enough to support you and the baby. And then you would move on with your career. And then whatever money you make would be just like, you feel me, your money. Like that's the impression that you gave us. And by leaving 2.5 months, 2.5 months ago, you had the baby. You didn't try. You didn't try. The idea wasn't to try to make it work. So don't blame him that things didn't work out for you. You can't expect all the benefits of him being there with you without him being there with you. Like, that's ridiculous.
I have anywhere to go.
How?
I don't even have a car. I still don't have a car.
Where'd it go? Where did your car
I got
go?
rid of my car.
In 2.5 months.
Empty promises, whatever. But
I notice women do this thing. Brittany Renner is so good at speaking. If you go just scroll down her Instagram, like all you see is her sitting in front of the camera, just having like conversations with the camera, essentially talking to and getting her thoughts out. Yet when it comes to explaining what were these empty promises, she's just whatever. She's try to jump over. She just wants to mention that there was empty promises and then shuffle over them. What promises? What promises was this man making to you to say, oh yeah, if you leave and take my baby, I'm going to still make sure you have a car? Was that the empty promise that you're talking about? Because it sounds more ridiculous when you actually verbalize what you're talking about. But if you just say empty promises, then you could just leave that to the imagination of whatever person wants to create the narrative. And I see a lot of that in here. And it was when I was watching that started making me realize there's no defense here, because you realize the problem. Because if you didn't, then you would just say everything, like how you usually sit down and elaborate, like verbalize your thoughts. But no, when you get to the parts where it's like, yeah, this was stupid, as opposed to you being like, man, I was fooled into being dumb by social media, you try to blame him, which makes me feel like you don't understand that it's your fault. It is your fault. You are 100% to blame for your current situation. You're the architect of your own demise here. And you're still trying to blame PJ.
I've been thinking so hard, bitch. Bitch, this has really been the hardest time of my life. And here I am. Because I thought somebody, right. Because
See, she just did it again. She was going to explain. She was going to explain why things were hard. But then she was like, damn, if I explain why things were hard, then people are going to realize that it's my fault. So I have to just throw out a little bit of blame and then just, right, you feel me? And then just end it there and leave it to the imagination of whoever's watching to just assume where you were done wrong.
Yeah. That to say, don't ever relinquish
You said what to say. You cut out what you said.
Follow your dreams, not your boyfriend. A man is not a financial plan.
See, and this is where the character is coming out, and you see how abrasively it just did. I feel like I'm listening to an infomercial, and then she's saying things that, and this was the part originally that kind of also made me feel like I needed to come in defense of her, because like the shit she's saying is just painfully obvious. So the idea that she finds the need to even share this information means that she was mistaken heavily in her actions that led her to her current situation. But it's just like, how do you know all this stuff now and there's still so much subtle blame being thrown to PJ? I don't get it. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Always have your own things. I honestly feel like since this situation, I don't think, even if I was married, I can't see myself not having my own house outside of the main house. Like, I would just have to have my own space. Maybe that will change with time, who knows. But also, it's crazy. Like, people, they want to see you fail.
And
I
here
wanna
comes the
see you
character
fail when
coming
you
back out.
don't.
Like this is a character arc for her. This isn't this isn't real life. There isn't a real child involved in this situation, a real other human being that has to help raise this child. Her mom and shit, they're not real in this situation. This is a part of the character of Brittany Renner's character arc. And this is the scene in every movie where something bad happens to the main character to make us empathetic towards him. Like, that's all this is. This is just a television show.
They have no control over you. They can't do anything. Because all you fucking do is win. Like, God, this girl's still here? Because I thought somebody thought there was gonna... Yeah, I thought. You thought.
What did you think? What, can you explain that part? When it comes down to you just talking about how you've overcome and how everybody should look at you as you're gonna come out as winning, but whatever the fuck you just said about you still here, you could explain that better than I could just try to re-explain you explaining it. But for some reason, when it comes time to you to actually put some kind of verbal energy behind what was done wrong to you by the person that you're implying did something wrong to you, it's always just a cutoff there. Because you know whatever you say would be stupid.
We all thought. I want to say thank you to the people on all social media platforms that continue... God, don't cry. That continue to support me. Because this shit's a fucking privilege to have.
Support you how? What are they supporting? What is there to support? You're literally just thanking people for enabling you. That's what you're doing. You're thanking people for enabling you because they're not clearly buying you cars and paying your bills and stuff. If that's the type of support you mean like mental and emotional support. But it's like right now you need somebody to hold you accountable. You don't need somebody to tell you that everything you did was okay.
I'm so fucking thankful. I swear to God, I see the world with a whole different set of eyes now. I really do.
See, and it's just so abrasive how this character is trying to jump out while she's catching herself being too human. She's catching herself being too human. So she's just trying to continuously fall back and rely on this character. That is why she is in this situation. Literally, me personally, my theory this whole time is that she came as that person to PJ and like convinced him that she was trying to be something different than the character that she played on TV. You feel me? And that's how she finessed him. But it's like, no, you can't let go of this character. You refuse to let go of this character.
Thank you for the people who continue to support me despite the fuckery that I've had to endure.
That you've put yourself through.
After being lied on. Thank you to my real friends. And where do you think people got the ideas of I'm going to just assume that people are incorrect in the way that they're analyzing the situation about you because it's your life and I don't know. But I'm like, where do you think people drew these conclusions from? Nobody's looking at Aisha Curry like that. My family that aren't yes men, that have my fucking back. Because that's about the only reason I have some of my sanity. Just thank you. And thank you to the universe for redirection. Thank God I didn't get what I thought I wanted. Because
she almost took accountability there. She almost did it. I was almost proud of her. Cause she just admitted that like this situation is as a result of things she wanted and she did not get them. But if she did, she would be perfectly fine right now. She literally is the architect of her own demise. And she's just upset that she's in this situation as opposed to the situation she thought she would be in. But that's what happens when people self-destruct. Nobody expects to blow up.
Okay, I'll take a few months of disappointment over a lifetime of disappointment. I forgot to add. Leave after the first lie. You know, people can...
Why did you forget to add that? That seems pretty important. While you were throwing in all your other generic ass, you feel me, commercial responses. Maybe because that's bullshit. And I'm going to call bullshit now. I don't think that he lied to you about nothing. I think that he told you the truth about everything he wanted. You tried to finesse him, and now you're fucked.
Change, but they rarely do.
How long was she with him? Nobody knew they were together till she got pregnant. She was still posting on Instagram her single shit. So what does she mean? Like, they try to change, and change from what? Like, what is being left out here? And I know that, like, from the outside looking in, we're not supposed to know all the details of her life, but I'm just saying, like, if you're sharing this part with us, there should be some sort of evidence in all the stuff you've shared in the past to add up to this. Like, this is coming out of nowhere, and it's not like you just started sharing shit with us.
When people are lying about what they're lying about, ain't no fixing that. Ain't no coming back from that, bro.
What does that even mean? What does that mean when people are lying about what they're lying about? You mean like if somebody tells you a lie and then you ask them if it's a lie and then they don't instantly say, yeah, it's a lie, then there's no coming back from that? I swear shorties just be saying stuff because it sounds good coming out their mouth.
That's how you rockin'. If that's how you rockin', I ain't rolling. Last thing. A lot of people are afraid to leave relationships. Fear of missing out. Like, oh, I built this person up. You know, no one else is going to reap the benefits.
She can't be talking about herself. She can't be talking about herself. Bitch, you wasn't with him shooting in the gym.
Bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym.
You wasn't. What do you mean you built him up? And from the time it came out that he was with you, he literally was getting clowned and cool with it the whole time. So I'm just not, I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss for what the hell you're talking about. And it's like, I keep saying, the outside looking in isn't supposed to know, I guess, but like, you are the one who's delivering this message here. So, like, why are you not capable of communicating it properly? You should have just kept this saved in the drafts in your phone, and if that's the case.
I don't want to start over. I'm scared. Oh my God, who's gonna want me? Especially as a mom. Because, you know, fucking moms, we're just shamed for everything. No one's going to want to be with you have a kid, you know?
Nobody is shaming mothers. Women are shaming mothers who are in your field. Literally, if so much of your brand is revolving around sex, something like having a baby, which also entails having a baby father and a family, that's going to affect that brand. But like, nobody is devaluing mothers out here. Nobody's gonna look at a woman that's like in any other field and be like, oh, she doesn't have a baby, she's valued this high. She has a baby now. It's like that's just you, based on your own devices, your choices. I'm triggered right now because I've seen this 1.5 million times.
There's just fear of leaving, fear of just looking stupid. The only time you look stupid is when you allow yourself to look stupid. You don't look stupid when something doesn't work out. And bitch, you've had enough. It doesn't even have to be, I had enough. This doesn't work for me.
Okay, that is an accurate situation. You only look stupid when you allow yourself to look stupid. The way to allow yourself to look stupid is to behave in the fashion that Brittany Renner did.
We are not a match. We are not a vibrational match. And I'm going to be on my way.
Like, I'm sorry. She didn't even fucking say nothing. I just don't grasp it. I just don't understand it. So y'all was cool all the way up until he got you pregnant. Now, I don't know your stance on abortion, but I'm going to just assume that, you feel me, at the time of conception, y'all were cool. Maybe it was a tumultuous pregnancy. There was no evidence there. The baby was born. 2.5 months later, you're dipping. How is, like, you should have at least waited a little bit longer and then pretended like, I don't even know, but 2.5 months is not enough time for you to be making these claims.
If anything, I'm smart, bitch. Because I don't have time to waste. My energy is sacred and I treat it as such.
Okay. Enough of that bullshit. Okay. So moral of the story. Don't be like Brittany Renner.